This conference will now be recorded.
All right, man, you ready? You ready to roll?
Ready as I'll ever be, I guess.
Ready to roll. Here we go. Counting down. 3, 2, 2.
Okay.
Hey, everybody. Brant Phillips here, and I'm excited to announce the newest member who's just joined our team over here at eXp Realty. If you haven't heard about eXp Realty, I encourage you to go to eXp Realty and check it out. He's got the eXp banner.
Already.
Really excited about what's going on at eXp and the team we're building here. Jimmy, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Man, I'm doing great, man. Doing great.
That's
Living the dream, man. Living
That's right.
the dream, in the real estate world. And man, so guys, Jimmy's known as the take action agent. And I'm gonna share real briefly how we met, man, because you came out to our monthly networking group we have here in the Houston area at reiaction.com. You came out, checked out the event maybe 2 or 3 months ago. Can't remember. Was it
Yeah. It's only been 2 months. 2 months.
2 months ago, and one of the things that we do at Reaction is we teach real estate agents basically, some ways to generate some leads in their business with doing things that they're already doing. Meaning, maybe driving by distressed properties, some things you can do on the MLS, et cetera, et cetera. We've got just basically some no-cost marketing strategies, things that you as agents can do, in the normal course of your everyday duties and things that you're doing. And so
Right.
Jimmy took action on the training. And what happened, man? Tell us a little bit about your listing and kind of what came about.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you naming that action boss after me first of all. No, I'm sure you had that name way before. But yeah, when I had that listing on Pebworth Place out in the spring, and right there next to it was just a distressed property that it appeared to be vacant. It did have lights on, but I just really didn't know the situation with it. But I knew it was going to be tough to sell my listing with a house like that sitting right next to it. It basically had like a jungle in the background, just really distressed. And I had gone through the training with you, listened to you talk, and I just went over there. I was about to put my sign in the yard, and I was like, why not just go over there and knock on the door and see who's there, maybe somebody needed help. I don't even know what's going on because the grass was like up to my waist. It was pretty ridiculous, but yeah, nobody answered. I just snapped a few pictures. I ran a real estate report for you. I tried to do as much research as I could, trying, to find some phone numbers for you. But I did find the lady on Facebook, and I just sent all those information to you. And, within a week, 7 days, I think 7 days you had it under contract. And then, like another 7 days you had it closed. And it was pretty amazing. It was the easiest $1,000 I had ever made. So thank you, Brant. I have the check too. I use it as my bookmark now.
You haven't
I'm
cashed
almost finished with your book.
You haven't cashed the check yet?
Oh, it was digital. That's what's cool too. You hooked me up. I didn't even have to do it. You just it's like direct deposit.
Yeah, the check email thing is pretty cool. We email checks to people sometimes.
I like that.
To me, I'm like, you print it out and it's a check, and they're like, no way. I'm like, yeah, like for real. That's
exactly.
That is the thing now. So for you agents who are watching, basically what Jimmy did was spotted. He was doing a listing. He spotted essentially what, as a real estate investor, our number one lead is a vacant, distressed property. So he identified a property, got the address, took some pictures, sent them to us. And yeah, man, I know you sent some phone numbers, but we didn't connect on any of the phone numbers. But it was that Facebook link that you sent us.
Yep.
Skip tracing type stuff. We found where she worked at, and so we actually contacted her at work. And when she saw those pictures, she was the nicest lady in the world, and
Right.
she was like, because she didn't think the house was that bad. She had a family member that was supposedly checking on it.
Yeah,
and
I don't know.
Hey, would you like to take pictures? And we did. She was like, oh my gosh, I'm coming down there this weekend. And Nick went and met with her. We put her under contract. paid you that this was not an MLS deal, so we paid you the the $1,000 basically referral fee. But then on the back end, because you brought that listing to us, you're going to get that full 3% listing on the back end after we renovate it and put it on the market to flip it. And that's a little bit about what our Action Boss training is about, just at Reaction, which is teaching agents to take these types of actions. But more importantly, man, whenever we got to know each other, and we talked a little bit about the eXp Realty model, which everyone knows that I'm absolutely on fire about, to be a part of this company. Banner, man.
I'm ready.
I don't have the banner, but
I was looking for some eXp shirts, but yeah, it was a little bit short notice, so I'm more excited about the.
We got some hats and shirts on order. They're definitely.
There you go.
So, man, it's just funny thing is, for me, when I left corporate America years ago, I kind of started my own company here at the Best Home Pro. I didn't think I would work for another company like in this capacity, but when I learned about eXp and have done a ton of research, I'm incredibly excited about it. Everybody knows about me and what I have to say about eXp, but man, let's talk about you, man. So you made the switch to eXp. So talk a little bit about where were you working before, and kind of what kind of led you to make this switch. You don't have to name your individual broker, but just talk about kind of where you get a flat fee shop, or was a broker split, and what really led you to join eXp.
Right. Well, I started out my career in real estate with Keller Williams, and I was with them for 2 years. Very happy with Keller Williams. They have a great brokerage, great team where I was at. But I capped out that year, and I paid them over like $26,000, and I ran the numbers, and I was just like, wow, that's a really nice vacation. That's a car for my son or something. I mean, I could have done a lot with that $26,000. So I thought the best thing was to go to like this flat rate fee kind of brokerage shop, and I was there, and I did fine there, but they just don't give you the tools. A lot of the tools, the lead generating tools. So that was still something that I was really looking for. I'm really big on social media and stuff. So I was lacking that. I was lacking something at that brokerage. So, when I found, or when you talked to me about eXp and the KV Core and all these lead generating tools, it really kind of piqued my interest. And I wanted to hear more. And that's kind of when we went to that lunch and learn, and you taught me even more about it. And that's when it just mind blowing, really.
Yeah, man. You mentioned Keller Williams. We're talking to a lot of agents. A lot of agents have switched from Keller Williams to eXp, and first and foremost, man, like Keller Williams is an incredible company, and I have a lot of respect for Gary Keller. As a matter of fact, my real estate coaching students, one of my favorite books, and when I recommend, the very first book I recommend them to read, people who are just brand new, kind of wet behind the ears on the investing side, is to read Gary Keller's book, Millionaire Real Estate Investor. And I kind of call that's like the Bible. It matches up very similar to our investing model, and that's why I like it so much. And same thing with this book, Millionaire Real Estate Agent. Is a phenomenal book for real estate.
Right, I read that one.
It's an incredible book.
Yeah, it's just talking about leverage, everything you need to know about real estate, really.
Yeah, and that's what people are like, man, what's this thing going on with eXp? And a lot of there's similarities, right, with some things that we're doing that Glenn Sanford kind of extracted from his experiences working with Gary Keller at Keller Williams, but kind of added some layers and some new things on, like really the technology, for example, eXp World. So what are your first thoughts on a little bit of exposure and just the idea of a cloud-based brokerage rather than the office kind of brick and mortar model?
Well, on top of the lead generating tools, which we already talked about, the iCloud training is what really was just the second thing that I really liked about it too, because oftentimes we'd have training class. I mean, there's training everywhere, but sometimes, your availability is not always there. So I like the fact that, if I missed a training that I really wanted to go to because I had a showing or, at a closing or something, that I could still go in there at any time of the day and just, it's all archived. So I'm just able to go in there and check out, what I did miss. And I feel like, I missed out on something. I have to wait an entire month or for the next one to come along. So I think that's huge, having that iCloud training where you're able to just go in there, at kind of your convenience.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I listened to a training video this morning, driving in for work, man. Just plugged it in the phone, put on the car, a little Bluetooth, and boom, half an hour training coming in. You can listen going into work, after work, go on a walk, go on a jog, all that kind of stuff, and just be taking in content. Yeah, in the lead generation tools. So one of the things, man, it's really, really exciting, for me. And more so basically for my team members as well, that are really active in pursuing, looking to grow their business on the agent side of things with listings. You look at something like Commissions Inc. That's anywhere from a $16,000 to $20,000 investment for a typical agent. And, our agents are coming on board with eXp, and that's just part of, for that $50 a month fee that they can get that and access to that. And actually have a person starting this week that is gonna help me to basically just start doing lead generation using all the tools that they're giving us. Because with, basically by joining eXp, we're getting instant access to, I don't know, $25,000, $30,000 worth of software. I'm like, man, that would be a shame not to really utilize this, start getting listings and going the agent side of our business. And I know you're the take action agent, man. So what are your plans, with some of these new resources at your disposal? You were talking about Conversion or KV Core, Commissions Inc. Making kind of tell everyone kind of some of your objectives for the first, the next, 6-12 months with eXp.
Well, I am a little familiar with KV Core. It was Conversion and got bought out by KV Core too, and so I'm a little familiar with that already. And I really like that software. I've heard great things about it, and even just using it, for the short time that I have, I've had some great results as far as just generating lead off of Facebook, Instagram. Because I mean, it's directly it just ties together with it, and it's all automated. I mean, it really just simplifies the whole process. And I think Brent Grove, he kind of described it as a bulldozer. It's kind of a good way to just get as many leads as you can into it, and then just kind of work them. And it's all about the follow up. It's all about timing. To me, I think a lot of the real estate is timing. Everybody's going to buy a house eventually. It's just when. So I want to be their top of mind agent.
Yeah. So what are some of your suggestions for other agents that may, maybe just starting out in the business, but looking to build a long-term, successful, sustainable business? Like, what's some of the advice that you'd have for new agents who are just getting started, maybe?
Just recognizing, what kind of agent you want to be. I think it's important. If you want to be on the listing, I think it's important to have a focus, whether it be on the listing side or the buyer side. I know when you first get into it, you kind of just want to take the business as it comes, but I think that's important too, because it's going to help you fill out who you're going to become. Like, who, all these closings, all these different deals, you're going to go through something every time. There's something different. It's never the same, and it's never easy. So it's just kind of overcoming those challenges, those obstacles. And then the second thing is kind of recognizing what kind of market we're in. So, whether it's a declining market, if we're kind of plateauing, I know we've been going up, for the last, 8 years, 10 years. And, something's about to happen. It's just being ready to know what to do when that happens.
Yeah.
And kind of customizing your market to those people, because, I mean, the people are going to be going through different things at different times in different markets. Yeah. So I think, KV Core really helps with that too, because they have tons of campaigns. I think they say like over 40,000 campaigns that you can actually look through and use what other agents have successfully used, and not recreate the wheel. Just use what's working for other agents that are used. big time agents.
Yeah, and I think that's good advice for agents and investors, because I've seen that happen, man, through several different markets, investing market cycles, is people kind of get pigeonholed or just really focused on one strategy because it's working right then, but they're not really looking to the future and really, able to determine and recognize different markets that we're in, but also just not having a commitment to lead generation and really, especially in today's day and age, just a lack of access to technology, because that's one of the things that I'm so excited about eXp is that we are a tech-based company, founded by a tech guy, and we're very agile. That's one of our core values, is being very agile. And I heard someone say in one of the presentations, Glenn Sanford said something to the effect that everything at eXp is in beta mode, meaning, like we're testing, everything is always being tested and monitored for results, but we're always open, to what's better, like what is the next thing, and not being kind of tied into a conventional way of doing things like the brick and mortar thing, just being very, very flexible, being very, very flexible. So let me ask you this. This is a big thing, because we see a lot of agents who are very successful, but at the same time, they may create a really good income and have a really good, in terms of quality of life, based on that income. But I've seen this as I have worked with agents as real estate investor students, like coaching them, teaching them to invest for the long term so that they have an exit strategy from the business. But a lot of agents I have seen where they don't have an exit strategy, and they're working till later years in life where they'd probably rather be retired or just doing something else. So, before eXp, had you thought a lot about that? Like, what was your real exit strategy from the business and kind of wealth strategy?
To me, it was always about rental properties. From when I was very young, watching TV. I don't know if you know who Carlton Sheets was, but I actually bought that program when I was like 18 years old off the TV, and my friends and family thought I was crazy. I'm gonna be some real estate mogul and buying all these investment properties and stuff like that. But reading his program and stuff like that, he kind of emphasized, not you don't need to buy, 30 rental homes. At least that's what his plan was. It was just for me, it was just buying one property a year for 10 years, and after 10 years, selling the worst, the bottom half of my portfolio to help pay off the top half of my portfolio. And that always resonated with me and stuck in my head. So that was always kind of my plan, and I got there partially right before 2008, but then I went through some, troubling stuff. I went through a divorce, so it was kind of had to liquidate my assets. But yeah, I was there and I was on that plan. And just speaking with you, the last few months, just kind of hearing you talk, that it's very, very, there's a lot of liability that goes into that. I didn't recognize that too much because it was only for a few, 3 or 4 years. So I wasn't having to replace roofs yet and replace ACs. Like you said, the other day that 3 ACs went out. So it's just a lot of expense, a lot of liabilities that go into that. And, it's good to hear someone like you say that, because it kind of just reinforces, maybe that wasn't the best game plan, but it just reinforces also that, those are things you're just going to have to go through as being a, kind of investor, property owner.
Yeah. Yeah. So the way I was first taught rental property was about passive income. And that's really what I was after. I wanted to create passive income, recurring passive income. And so I started buying rental properties, and I learned that it was passive some months, and some months it wasn't passive. And the income was recurring some months, and some months it wasn't recurring. Very unstable. It's kind of like the stock market, actually. But I'm very, very obviously pro real estate, but still pro rental property. But for me, I don't view it as a passive business model, and it's certainly not predictable in terms of the returns that you'll get. But I love it for the wealth building strategy. I love the Carlton Sheets, the 10-year plan. And, I've got properties that I've owned for over 10 years, and I've had the same exact tenant who's always paid rent, multiple properties like that. So I wish they all worked out that way. They don't. So for me, rental property is one strategy. It's really one income stream and one income valve that we can turn on as investors, and definitely um, let time, leverage, appreciation, all these things work to our favor, and as depreciation as well on our taxes. So I absolutely love it for the long-term wealth building strategy, but not for a cash flow strategy. It's not
Yeah.
cash flow for me, because most of my properties are leveraged now. If every year I get into this, we're paying properties down, we're paying properties off, so it improves every year. But I started this thing with no money. When I began investing, it was heavily leveraged, so that's not a great way to build a lot of passive income. But so, what are your thoughts? We haven't really talked about the revenue share part of eXp, and I know there's
Right.
there's misinformation out there, because a lot of people are thinking, oh, if I'll come to eXp, I have to recruit, and that's not the case at all. We have some agents come on that really don't have any interest in the revenue share part of the business. I know for guys who are investment minded and understand these investment models and income stream models, that are really excited about it. But what's your plan with that, and how and if something you're going to work on, like, how does that play into your exit strategy? From, you're a young guy, so you got plenty of time left, but how does that work into your business model for the short and long term?
Yeah, I mean, my perspective on that, talking to other agents and stuff like that, to me, it's just, I want to keep doing what I'm doing. I love real estate. I've been passionate about real estate for a while. I was a lender, credit consultant. I mean, I've been in the industry kind of, I would say, for almost 15 years as an investor and owner and all that. But, to me, it's just do what you do. Keep doing what you do. Do real estate, to the best of your ability, but do it with the best model. I mean, eXp to me is just the best business model for any kind of realtor out there, because of what they introduced, this revenue sharing. It's game changing, and you're gonna see it whether you really like it or not. Because I mean, eventually, like I said before, you're gonna want to kind of leverage things. You're gonna want to have a specialist in buying and a specialist in listings and stuff like that. So it's going to free up your time by building your team. You're going to build your team anyway. If you're going to do it smart and if you're going to do it right, you're going to build your team anyway. And why not do it with the best model, which is going to pay you residual income, passive income, for the life of those agents. I mean, forever, really, because those agents are going to want to build teams, and they're going to want to go out and, do their own thing too. But I mean, it's still, we're all together. We're all a team. And, why not work it? Make it work for you.
Well, let's pull back the Jimmy Zarate curtains a little bit, man. So what everyone should know about you? Maybe you may even want to do a little bragging here about any rewards, recognition, or anything like that.
I mean, I kind of went over it. I mean, I was able to cap pretty early in my career as a, Keller Williams agent, and I just realized then that, there's tons of money to be made, but there's also, tons of money to be made off of me. So I just really, I wanted to get with the best company. Like I said, I wanted to do what I'm doing in real estate and just do it with the best model. It's plain and simple. I want to build my team, and this is the best team to build, this is the best brokerage to build a team with. Because I got to meet someone like you. I'm going to get to, share this with my team already. And, we're just going to explode. We're just going to rock and roll.
Dude, I love what you said. There's plenty of money to be made, but there's plenty of money to be made off.
Oh man, it hurt. It hurt when I ran those numbers. I was just like, oh wow. So I mean, it's just reality. It is what it is. I mean, that we talked about it a little bit too. That the broker model is just kind of it's a broken model. I mean, there's a lot of brokers out there kind of struggling, not knowing what to do because they're stuck in this brick and mortar, for, 5 years, 6 years, whatever lease they're in. And, it's hard for them to move their ship and right the ship. But I think you can still do it with eXp. It's just the best model.
Yeah, I think it's a mindset. You just mentioned, just that realization, like I realize I can make a lot of money, but I also realize there's a lot of money to be made off of me, man. So it's kind of just knowing your true value. And I think that a lot of agents undervalue their worth and their value and what they're bringing to the table. And it's a free marketplace. Because we're all like, we have friends in this business, agents who have great relationships with brokers or with their broker and things like that. But at the end of the day, it's business, right? And we're all
Right.
and you're trading your time for a certain amount of money. Why not look for the best ways to grow your business, monetize your business for the short term and the long term? That's really going to help you meet your financial goals and put your family and yourself in the best position for the long term. And that's really what it's about, man. I know I think I told you, and you've heard me say it to other people, agents at the lunch and learn. I'm like, really, I'm not trying to sell eXp. Really, it's a business model where I sat down and did the numbers. The numbers were so much more favorable than anything else I'd ever seen, any other opportunity in the marketplace. And that's all I'm encouraging agents to do, is say, hey, take a look at this business model and see, you can contact me, contact Jimmy, reach out to us and say, hey, let's just sit down, have some coffee, have lunch, come to the office, whatever it may be. And just like, let's look at your numbers. Let's look at your production. Let's look at, whatever your splits are, even if it's a flat fee. One of the things that people don't understand with eXp, especially for agents who are producing agents, with what we call our icon status program at eXp, where we're actually getting shares of stock based on certain production levels, where we may pay in a $16,000 cap, but we have an opportunity to get all of that cap paid back to us in shares of stock. And it's quite amazing when you start looking at things where we are getting paid to be at eXp whenever we meet certain production levels. And dude,
that's icing on the cake right there too. That's just
cake. It's icing on the cake. We add on revenue, stock awards, all these types of things, all of the free software, reduced fees and commissions compared to a lot of places. There is a really good energy, man. I'll just say it like that. There's a really good energy and synergy going on with our team. Look at there, you got the man. I appreciate you coming on and sharing your story, being a part of our team. I know you're already hitting the streets with several listings and talking to some other agents who've been reaching out. What's the best way for anyone who wants to get in touch with you?
They can call me. They can call me on my cell phone, 832-233-5680, or they can, they can email me at takeactionagent@gmail.com, and they can also go to my website, takeactionagent.com.
All right, Take Action. Say your phone number one more time.
832-233-5680.
All right, brother. I appreciate coming on, man. Ended with a fist bump. Boom. Appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Reach out to me, Jimmy, whatever, if you have questions, and let's just have a business conversation. See if this is something that works for you and your business, short term and long term. Appreciate y'all watching. Y'all take care.
All right.